Hi everyone, welcome back to the UCFB Seconds Team podcast for Gaffer's Chat Edition, and today I'm joined by my usual guest, Dan and Charlie. So obviously the season kicked off on Wednesday. How are we feeling?
Yeah, absolutely buzzing. I think we showed some real character in the game, considering how it was going. So to get 3 points and have a strong start, I think couldn't really have asked much more.
Yeah, I mean, we're a massive comeback, to be honest, and I think we all didn't expect it going into the second half. So really proud of all the lads to obviously get our first win. So it's good.
So you've just mentioned obviously Wednesday there was a victory. How important do you think that is for the games moving forward?
Yeah, massive. It gives us sort of a kickstart. You know, we've played 3-1-3, so there's no reason for the boys to not be confident going into the next game. So buzzing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a confidence boost towards the season. I mean, we're 10% of the way there. We're talking about long-term objectives of winning the league after coming down last season. So I think we've put ourselves in a really good position, winning 3 on the bounce now.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we look at the game, let's start with the first half. Obviously, we went into half-time 1-0. How do you feel about the first 45 minutes performance?
Although on the scoreline, being 1-0 up sounds good. The first half was probably a bit disappointing in terms of our performance. We didn't really get into the game until about 15 minutes in. I think that could maybe to do with the way we sort of had our warm-up and stuff like that. But I think it took us a bit of time to sort of grow into the game, which, you know, that can happen, but it's something that I think in future games we need to be at it from minute one. So a frustrating first half, but still a positive because we ended up being 1-0 up.
Yeah, I think in the first half it was a bit disappointing for us and the players really as well. We were getting outran in the midfield and we could see that players were coming off. You know, there was emotions were high, and I think they just came at us with more tempo and they wanted it more in the first half, to be honest. And they were quite unlucky not to grab at least 2 or 3, I'd say. Obviously we nicked one of our own, which was really good and, you know, good goal. But I think for us we were quite lucky to be in that position, and that's what we said at half time.
Yeah, so obviously second half we had a little bit of a scare going 2-1 down, then we managed to bring it back to 4-2. Should we talk a little bit about the second half, how you felt when obviously you conceded those goals, and then how you went on to move past it and obviously win the game?
Yeah, I think the first goal was conceded literally about 30 seconds into the second half, and then not too long after. So we'd gone from being 1-0 up to 2-1 down probably in the space of about 5-10 minutes, which changes things dynamically in the game. It changes the way you want to manage the game, because you go from, we're not playing very well, but we're 1-0 up, maybe we can hold on to something here. Then suddenly you're chasing a game. So you've got to adapt things. So we decided to change formation, switch to a 3 at the back, and that eventually proved to be really good, because I think from when we shuffled a few things around, we were all over them for the last sort of half an hour, 35 minutes, and obviously that showed in the scoreline being 2-1 down, then winning 4-2. So yeah, really positive second half in terms of response.
Yeah, I'd agree with everything that you said there. It was a bit disappointing the first 20 minutes or so, I'd say. Let our heads go a bit. Obviously didn't get the things that we were looking for, and, you know, maybe kept forcing things that shouldn't have necessarily been. But yeah, when the formation change did come into play, did far better. Everyone's heads, you know, eventually rose. You know, chins were rising, and yeah, when we did get those goals, we celebrated it in good fashion, eh? Yeah. So yeah, no, it was good.
I think as well, obviously we've got a game again on Wednesday, but we're home this time playing Liverpool John Moore. How are you feeling about that? So obviously team played one of their teams last season as well, and obviously going away, you know, the Liverpool teams can often be a tough competition.
Yeah, they're usually very physical, and good footballing sides as well. They played, was it Man Met?
Yep, they played Man Met.
And they
lost 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
So there you go, there's some food for thought. I think those would be 2 of the stronger teams in the league though, so I wouldn't read into that too much in terms of the fact that they lost. We'll still be prepared for whatever they come to throw at us. and we'll have some stuff to throw at them.
Yeah, I think they'll be hungry for a win now, to be honest. I think obviously losing the first game is not what you want, so I think they'll be getting bashed into saying make sure the next one is definitely a win. So they're going to come at us, and they're obviously going to want the game. It's just preparing our lads for them and for what's to come. You know, they've always been a good tactical team. You know, very good playing out the back. Defensively, they're really strong. So we know that, and we've got it in mind. It's just that how can we use our players now to obviously get over the line.
What are some changes you wish you did make, or what is something that you're like, oh, maybe we should have done that?
I think as far as like philosophies go, we went into that game and we had a certain thing that we set up tactically, and all the players are on board now with what we believe in, what we trust in, and so actually going into that game and then changing everything around, telling players to play in positions that they never actually played in before, and it actually working, it's kind of made us realise and think in another sense, walking away from that game. I think anyway. I think that maybe what we did change can happen in future games. Now we've got a plan B to what we believe in, and it adds to our philosophy really.
Yeah, I think the players that came on had a massive difference. The substitutions we used, well, I think Gilo came on left wing and gave their fullback a tough time for the last sort of half an hour. When we switched, I think the people that played left and right midfield did well at both covering their defensive areas, but also going forward and joining the attack. And then going to a back three as well, we actually looked maybe a bit more assured in the air, I think, defensively. Charlie Graham coming on at centre-back did quite well, and yeah, I think that's some positives to take. Our bench looks really strong. So
yeah, I'd also talk about like the mentality of our players as well, to go on from the bench. Some of them getting barely any minutes. You know, we subbed one of our players on in the last 10. We said, run around like a chicken up top, and that's what he did. So, we've got to kind of think about that and like value our players in terms of their mentality and what they do for the squad. So.
Thank you for joining us again for Gaffer's Chat, and be sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at UCFB.seconds.mcr. Thank you.